in order to effect the appropriate disposition of individuals currently detained by the Department of Defense at Guantanamo, and promptly to close the detention facility at Guantanamo consistent with the national security and foreign policy interests of the United States and the interests of justice, I hereby order. And we then provide the process whereby Guantanamo will be closed no later than 1 year from now. They were here to witness the signing of this executive order. This is me following through on not just a commitment I made during the campaign, but I think an understanding that dates back to our founding fathers, that we are willing to observe core standards of conduct, not just when it's easy, but also when it's hard. Okay. There we go. The effectiveness of human intelligence gathering. The message that we are sending around the world is that the United States intends to prosecute the ongoing struggle against violence and terrorism, and we are going to do so vigilantly, we are going to do so effectively, and we are going to do so in a manner that is consistent with our values and our ideals. We are not, as I said in the inauguration, going to continue with a false choice between our safety and our ideals. We think that it is precisely our ideals that give us the strength and the moral high ground to be able to effectively deal with the unthinking violence that you see emanating from terrorist organizations around the world. We intend to win this fight. We're going to win it on our terms.
Clearly, the challenge that faces us, and that I've acknowledged before, is figuring out how do we close Guantanamo and at the same time safeguard the security of the American people. And that's the challenge that we will continue to face. I believe that there are answers to those questions, but we clearly have a lot of work to do.
Well, we're thrilled. I mean, it's a huge victory. We began these cases 7 years ago. We thought they were almost hopeless. We've won 3 times in the Supreme Court, and each time the Congress has overridden the rights of Guantanamo detainees. And so finally, Obama has decided that in 1 year that camp will close. There will no longer be a prison camp at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. So we're exhilarated.
I think that the Obama administration is right that there are complexities. This is not the most difficult thing in the world. There are ways to work through it, but it's not as simple as just releasing everybody on one single day.
And I think people will look back at this as we today look at the fact that we put Japanese American citizens into camps during the Second World War. And I think they'll look at it with that kind of horror, because that's what this was. This was a horror. My view is that as much as Obama is turning the page on it, and I think he is that you don't want the next president to try to go back and revert. And therefore, we do feel that you need individual accountability for the horrors of the Bush administration, or you can get that recreated again. But I think this will be looked at as probably one of the darkest chapters in American history.